Good evening, everybody. Welcome to your reading here with me. Oh, I am taking some much needed time off from my usual Instagram routine, and I'm telling you, it has been so refreshing. I cannot emphasize enough the importance of listening to your body, listening to your energy body, and when it tells you enough is enough, you've got to listen to it. I am really bad at doing that sometimes, and I start to feel really overwhelmed and burnt out. You know, customer satisfaction is a huge thing for me, and I never like to keep anybody waiting, but sometimes you just have to listen to your body or you are going to start breaking down. You know, I used to do same day turnarounds for an insane amount of reads before, like 30 to 40 reads a day, and everybody would get it within the same day. And I just said, I cannot do this anymore, especially with the volume of people increasing, which is such a blessing, and I'm so grateful. And I said, well, you know, this is something that I truly desire to keep up for the rest of my life. This is my calling, this is my passion, and this is actually in my Akashic records, my soul purpose. And I was blessed enough to find it at this stage in my life where I turned it into a career path rather than, you know, just doing it on the sidelines for, you know, just to help friends and family figure things out. To actually be able to expand those abilities and help more and more people has been such a gift. And I realize it's so much more rewarding to do what you are called to do for the masses rather than keeping your talents hidden. And I truly recommend for all of you to, you know, seek what that purpose is for you and follow it. Because when you do, you will feel a fulfillment that you have not felt in a really long time. Probably ever. So it's really important to find what your calling is and to really follow it. So without further ado, I have so many decks around me today, and I'm just feeling so enthused about doing these collective readings that I finally have more energy for because I listened to my body and took some time off. So I'm hoping we can get in a long detailed read today, depending on what comes through, because sometimes the energy is just what it is. You know, it's not that you're trying to conclude it early. I try to get the entire message out, but sometimes it's just not a long message, which is okay too, which is good. So I have my before and after tarot here. I'm so obsessed with this deck lately, you guys. My original Rider-Waite, the one with the Tudor roses and lilies on the back. I've been wanting this deck ever since I found out the significance of it. And I so love tarot. I so love the Rider-Waite imagery. I use a lot of decks that are non-Rider-Waite too, like the Witch's Tarot, Everyday Witch Tarot, Mermaid Tarot, Alice in Wonderland. Like I have a lot that are non-Rider-Waite, but there's something about traditional Rider-Waite that just keeps drawing me in. And so I figured to feel like an official tarot reader, I need to have this deck. I have been using it so much, even just spending time with it during the day, shuffling. Your cards truly do bond with you. These decks are very much alive, believe it or not, you guys. They absorb your energy, they respond to your energy, and every deck has its strengths and weaknesses that, you know, when you're guided to it, you know that it has something extremely important to offer for a specific person, situation, or client that other decks at the time don't. So that intuitive pull towards particular decks that you get is so important to listen to. I used to be very minimalistic with my decks because I used to rely more so on clairvoyance, and I didn't really pull very many cards. But then I just wanted to get into actually using the cards more and more and more as a tool. And the more I do that, the more I bond with them, and the more I realize, every deck, even though they're all a 78 card tarot deck per se, they're so different. They are so, so, so different, which is why when I do these videos as well, I always mention which deck I'm drawn to, because those are the decks that have that imagery, those messages, those intuitive hits that allow you to get the entire concept, the entire picture of this message across. So anywho, let us get started. I'm going to pull from the Queen of the Moon Oracle first, actually, to kind of get an idea of where we are energy-wise at this point. And then we'll go from there. So, whoa, that wanted to come out. Hot Moon, Extremes, the number 34 card, and the first quarter moon, Assessing. Waxing Crescent, the Path. That's interesting. We have 8, 9, and 34 with Nourishment, number 7 at the bottom of the deck. So how synchronistic that I was talking about listening to your body and its needs, taking time off when you need to in order to recover your energy and come back to do what you love even stronger than before. I'm losing my mind here. I was actually going for the guidebook. Let's see what the guidebook has to say about these. So I'm just gonna go in order. So number 34 was the first card to come out. Hot Moon. Learn how to handle crises with calm and resilience. Seeking balance is superior to seeking extremes. There are better ways to handle conflict than rage and outrage. There may be someone who seeks to disrupt your business or life in some way, but this too shall pass. We can experience extremes in life: deaths, jobs, losses, relationship breakdowns, true fears, big conflicts, booms and busts, and yet this is life. Our situation can change quickly for the better or for the worse. The hot moon challenges us to build our resilience and reserves of wisdom and calm for those times where things are at their extreme. It reminds us that developing grace under pressure is worth its weight in gold, and that even these extremes in time will pass. This is so important, you guys. I'll show you the card up close. This is what the number 34 card looks like. And extremes is like the definition of twin flame relationships, right? Extreme emotions, sometimes extreme trauma, an extreme sense of longing for your counterpart, extreme sense of fear sometimes of what might happen next and what you would do, all the what ifs that tend to run through the mind, right? And it's no coincidence that this is the number 34 card. 3 comes after 4. 3 plus 4 is 7, right? It seems like it's one thing after the other on this journey. 3 comes after 4, one thing after the other, right? But what 3 plus 4? What's 3 plus 4? 7. 7 is what? A very lucky number. Whatever is happening for you. I say this all the time, but I cannot stress it enough, because when we are in the heat of the moment, in the midst of chaos, we forget that. It doesn't feel like that. right? It doesn't feel like all this trauma, all this baggage, all this waiting, all of this, whatever else you go through, which is a lot on this journey, is actually happening for us. But it is. Because hindsight is 2020. We may not see it now. 1010 on the timer, as I said that, which is a number of completion, a number of leaving the baggage and the burdens behind, right? Hindsight allows us to do that. Sometimes we wish our counterpart had come in way back when. But then when we look back, we say, whoa, we were not ready for them back then, were we? We wanted them to show up now. Why? Out of fear of what might happen next. We wanted them to be ours already because we didn't want to face the risk of them not being ours, right? But everything that happens for a reason. The universe, the divine powers that be, are making room in your life for what you are manifesting. Your manifestations are always on their way to you. You already have them in the 5D. If you can conceive it, and if you can believe it, you can have it. That is how the law of attraction works. But another major portion that people tend to forget about when it comes to using the law of attraction is that you can want something, but you have to learn to be okay without it in order to attract it. Otherwise, you're in a chaser energy. You're not able to stay grounded and focused and enjoy the blessings that you have now. And if this one thing is the only thing that's fueling you or keeping you going, you have to reevaluate the rest, the other areas of your life, that why is this not fulfilling for me? Because it probably is. You're just hyper fixated on this one thing to an extreme level, hence this extremes card. We have to bring those extremes into check so that they're not controlling us, right? We are meant to co-create our life with spirit, with the divine. We are not meant to just sit back passively and roll with the punches and watch life pass by us. That's not what we were put on this earth for, right? We have to assess, hence this assessing card, why whatever it is, whether it's union with our twin flame, communication from them, a certain whatever it is that you are chasing, quote unquote, why is that the only thing fueling you at that time? And why did all of this other stuff, all of these other people that you are surrounded by, loved by, supported by, losing importance in your eyes? Because we do tend to fall into that mindset, right? We tend to think that, oh, if we had this one thing, life would be so perfect. I would be so happy. Well, everything that you have now, you also wanted that way at some point, right? Maybe not everything, but a lot of things. Maybe the home you live in, maybe the car you drive, maybe the clothes you're wearing. If you're, a purse carrier, maybe the purse you carry, or a piece of jewelry, or whatever it is, an electronic device, your phone, your watch, your earpiece, something, anything. It could have been that at one point you were energetically chasing that. I want that, I want that, I want that. I want the newest Apple or Android phone. I want whatever, right? The Apple laptop, Sony Vaio, whatever you like to use. But then once you got it, there was something else that you set your sights on then, right? You weren't chasing after that one thing anymore. Okay, I already have it. You probably were obsessed with it for a while, and then it kind of got put to the side. And then there was something else that you were chasing after that you thought would make you happy or fulfilled, or would add meaning to your life in some way, or would add some type of joy. So what happened to these other things that you once were chasing, but that now you do have? Why is that not filling the void, right? Because it's not actually that made you happy. You found that fulfillment, if I can speak today, within yourself when that item or that thing arrived. And then you noticed that thing didn't even matter anymore. You kind of threw it in a corner and you decided there's something else that I need or want. Be very careful of that. Choose your path to happiness wisely. Choose it from within and not from without. Our external desires are never ending, you guys, right? Happiness and sadness, they are parts of life. We are human. We experience these emotions. But that doesn't define what our life is. Those are external circumstances, like the summer and the winter seasons, right? In the summer, everything is like, or in the spring, it starts blooming. In the summer, everything kind of reaches its climax. And then in the fall and winter, you see all of those beautiful blossoms and leaves and trees and everything just kind of dying off. It's going away because it was temporary. It wasn't meant to last forever. Those are external things. And it's the same thing with anything else in life that you're trying to manifest. It's the same concept. All of these external things are temporary. We have to find that happiness from within. We have to remember that we actually are eternal beings. Our soul can never die, right? Depending on whatever your belief system is. But the thing is, we see past lives. Past lives is a real thing. We carry those, what we call samskaras, or those tendencies, those characteristics, those belief systems, those character traits across many lifetimes. The fact is, where I'm going with all of this is we can never run away from ourselves. And the twin flame journey is the best teacher of this, right? Twin flames, by definition, is one soul incarnated in two bodies. One soul split in two, incarnated in two different bodies. It doesn't matter if you're the same gender or not, right? You don't have to be a heterosexual couple to be a twin flame. You can be a homosexual couple as well. The soul is the same. The body is just a biological gender that's only going to last for as long as you have this body. But your soul is your soul, and that stays the same, right? And your longing, you longing for your twin flame, is you longing for that soul level wholeness, to find the other half of yourself again, right? Which is why they say in the ascension process that it's so important to have a reunion with yourself, within your own divine masculine and divine feminine energies, before you attract that external union, the physical other half of your soul incarnated in a different body, back to yourself. That's why that pull is so strong, because it's actually a soul level wholeness that you're seeking. And this entire journey pushes us, whether we like it or not, to find that within ourselves. So let's have a look with these energies, the extremes, the assessing, the path, what the tarot has to say about this. I'm going to start with the Before Tarot. And we're going to take a look at what the past situation might have been with these counterparts who will resonate with these energies that I'm channeling. So Spirit, what could have been the past energies? What happened? Okay, 8 of Cups. Do you see this man drinking from this cup here? And he's got the moon behind him. The moon is all about intuition, emotions, either things being hidden or things being illuminated from the unconscious and subconscious levels within us. The cups are all about emotions. It's that watery element, right? What happened before is that one of these counterparts, or perhaps even both, but right now I'm getting a very strong masculine energy here, that was drinking from the wrong cups. One of these counterparts was drinking from the wrong cups, meaning they had such deep emotional wounding. All of these cups that they were drinking from was only enhancing that. Traumas from childhood, negative core beliefs about themselves, about whether or not they deserve love. And I get the sense that in the beginning, this person, see how confidently they're drinking from this cup. They are so sure about their decisions, about the friends they attracted, about the relationships that they chose. They were so sure, but they were all wrong, because their baseline, this divine masculine's baseline that I'm channeling for this collective, was chaos. And he was attracting unconsciously and subconsciously more chaos into his life because that was his baseline. He didn't recognize it as such, but that's exactly what was happening. It's almost like the subconscious mind had a radar for that chaos that masked itself as desirable qualities in karmic partners that were there to teach them deeper soul lessons and to break them free from that baseline of chaos and to help them ascend into something healthy. Most of you know, if you've been following me for a while, that I have a degree in marriage, family, and child therapy. And I've worked as a counselor for 9 years now, 10, probably 10 this month, in the month of February. Yeah. So, however, there is a theory called Imago Theory. Right, and this is developed by Dr. Harville Hendrix. I'm going to give you a little MFT insight here. Okay. Dr. Harville Hendrix developed this Imago Theory, saying that we subconsciously attract partners that mimic the positive and negative traits of our caregivers, whoever the primary caregiver or caregivers might have been, whether it's your parents, guardians, aunts, uncles, grandparents, foster parents, whoever you grew up around, whoever was responsible for meeting your needs from infancy through adolescence, we'll say. You, as a child, as an infant, whenever you expressed your needs through crying, whether you were hungry, needed a diaper change, needed to be carried or get attention, every time that need was met quickly, you were satisfied. Every time that need wasn't met, if it was ignored or if it was met with some type of anger or abusive behavior perhaps, that created an unmet need or a wound within you an inner child wound. That's where these things come from. And yes, they start as early as infancy. They can even start as early as in the womb. So how you respond to your children, no matter how young they are, even if they're not born yet, matters. Okay? So say, for example, growing up in an alcoholic family, a certain person was met with anger every time they cried, every time they had a need, and their needs were never met with love. They were either met with anger or they were just neglected completely. Whatever the dynamic was at home. The subconscious mind wants to repair that wound. It wants to heal that wound. And romantic relationships is the closest thing that we have to our caregivers as children, right? So look at it this way. When we first meet somebody, we tend to adore them, right? We tend to, admire their features. We tend to kind of caress them in a way that shows tender, loving care, that shows affection. And even though one is of, a sexual nature and one is just of a parental caring nature, but the fact is that however we do it in each relationship, the fact that it's done is the same, right? Even if the way in which you do it is different, the fact that you do it is the same. From infancy, our primitive brain is hardwired to believe that if we don't have a caregiver, we will die. And for infancy, that is very true. They will die if they don't have a caregiver. They're not capable of caring for themselves. But when we grow up as adults, we have the full capacity to care for ourselves. We don't need somebody to do that for us, but we still look for it through the primitive brain. And so the subconscious mind actually hunts out people that carry those same traits as your abusive caregiver, or as the one that hardly ever met your needs, or the one that neglected you the most often. Whoever your worst caregiver was, you are going to attract that type of partner into your life, because your subconscious mind believes that because the dynamic is different between parent and child and between lovers, that if they recreate the same childhood scenario between lovers, that wound will heal itself, because the lover will respond differently, because it's a different relationship dynamic. Very, very not true. If this person has the same traits as this bad caregiver, what's going to happen? They're going to respond to it in the same way. They're going to respond to your needs in the same way. It's going to be a different dynamic. It's going to be a different context, but the baseline of that response is creating an unmet need within you. And this romantic partner is going to do exactly that. Why? Because they have the same traits. This is why we attract karmic partners, you guys. And now, not all karmics are bad, but if you notice that you attract a lot of people that remind you of your parents or your caregivers, this is something to be aware of, okay? Big time. So until you become conscious of that and you heal that wound within yourself, instead of seeking subconsciously, unconsciously for another external person to do that for you, you're going to keep attracting the same types of people. But once you are able to feel that within yourself and become conscious of it, you break that pattern. You're no longer in the baseline of chaos. You have ascended beyond that. And that, my friends, is when you have brought about healing for yourself. That is when you are in alignment to attract the type of relationship that will give you the fulfillment that you're seeking from a partner. that would be very nice to have, but that is no longer necessary for you, because you have learned to fill this jug, to fill these mugs or whatever these are, these, yeah, jugs, water pots for yourself, right? And though these water pots are the symbol of emotional fulfillment because they're filled with water, water is heavily associated with emotions, especially in the tarot. So this divine masculine, after having drank from so many wrong cups, through bad karmic relationships, needed to heal the fact that all of those bad karmic relationships caused him to actually bottle up his emotions, not allow him to express himself in a healthy manner, because maybe it resulted in chaos, or maybe he had to, I really do feel like this particular masculine that I'm channeling kind of had to put his own needs aside because it was a very volatile environment in the household, and he had to keep everybody placated or pacified in order to just keep the peace. And this was happening from a very young age. This is a hyper-specific message, so only take it if it resonates. Trust your intuition. This is a collective reading, okay? So I feel like this masculine that I'm channeling had to do that. And this is exactly what he's healing on this twin flame journey. He's learning to express himself in a healthy way. He's learning to honor his own emotions. And he's learning to speak up for his own desires, for his own needs, in a way that he was never able to do it before. I get the sense that this masculine is terrified of doing that, even at this adult age, just because of those traumatic childhood experiences. The Five of Cups. He's so fixated on this spilled milk right here, or this spilled water, that he doesn't even notice all of these cups standing upright, which is reflective of, number one, on one side, what he can gain through self-love and learning to, find that pleasure in the present moment rather than holding on to that depression and suppressing the healing process. And number two, what he can find if he honors his emotions, to be in union with his divine feminine. This fixation on the past had really been holding this masculine back for such a long time. And this is something he was not consciously aware of, from what I can sense. This was not something that, he purposefully did, to be difficult or to create difficulty in his own life. No, this is something that he felt like he had to do in order to just get by, in order to make life livable. He didn't believe that true fulfillment was possible. Too good to be true is something that I keep hearing over and over. When he experienced the love of his divine feminine, even in the 3D, I get a scenario where maybe a divine feminine truly expressed her care and concern for this masculine in a way that nobody ever had before. He didn't know what to do with it, and he wanted to run. The King of Wands energy is notorious for being non-committal. And there's a reason for that, right? It's all of these inner childhood wounds, all of these negative emotions that they're drinking from all the wrong cups and internalizing and capturing within themselves and not releasing properly. Even see how this feminine in the Star card is holding on to those water pots. It has water in there and she does not want them to fall. It's almost like they're afraid of popping the cork open. In my third eye, I'm seeing like a bottle of champagne where, how you shake it up and when you pop it, it just effervesces and overflows. I feel like that's what this masculine is afraid is going to happen if he lifts the cork off of his emotions and allows himself to process all these years of emotional wounding and trauma. So it is not that he's trying to be difficult. It's not that he's being complacent and not wanting to take action. It's legit fear. See how there's a lion sitting at this king's feet? I'm not seeing it as a lion that is submissive to him or that is his pet or, you know, is a symbol of his pride. No, yes, it could be a symbol of this false mask of pride that he's putting on, but inwardly, this King of Wands feels like he's terrified energetically, because this lion could really turn on him and eat him at any moment. And that is the all-consuming fire of his emotional wounds that he runs from unconsciously. On the outside, look at him. He looks like he's got it all together. He looks like he's in charge. He's the king here. He's sitting on his throne. He's got his wand next to him. The crown is on his head. He's wearing that royal cape. He's got it all together. Outwardly, it looks like. But what's going on inside him? Only he and his divine feminine can feel. He knows it, and his divine feminine, because they're tethered and the energy is mirrored, she can feel it. And she sympathizes. But the fact that this divine feminine sympathizes just blows this King of Wands away, because nobody's ever done that for him before. I keep hearing this divine masculine say, "How can you even stand me? How can you stand me? I can't even stand me sometimes." And the energy is one of self-loathing here. That this masculine had been so programmed since childhood to put himself on the back burner and to believe that he didn't matter. That he just kind of accepted that. That became his core belief system. This Four of Swords to me right now is really giving off this energy of somebody that just submerged themselves into that negative energy that they were fed over and over from childhood and just accepted that it was what it was and that's how things were supposed to be. But when this masculine goes to bed at night, when this masculine clears his energy, there's that voice within him, the voice of his soul, his intuition, of his guides, that are telling him that that's not true. What he was led to believe about himself and the validity or the importance of his emotions is simply not true. And it took this masculine a very long while to listen to that intuitive voice. I love the way that my cards work with me. They're truly amazing. The High Priestess, all about intuition, all about this inner deep spiritual knowledge. Her crown symbolizes the phases of the moon, and we all know how impactful the moon is on our emotions. It brings those wounds to the surface in order for us to heal and release them. She is the priestess of intuition and of healing. This is the voice that has been trying to break through the ego of this masculine for so long. And I feel like she's finally succeeded. This particular collective that I'm channeling, it's been a long, hard road to even try and figure out what intuition is over fears. This masculine could not for the life of him figure it out. And as a result, the feminine had been feeling paranoid for so long. But when that ego mind finally got silenced, when both parties stopped thinking that this love was an illusion, and when they began to realize, when they actually, not just began to realize, but when they actually realized this is real, and this 10 of Pentacles is what the future holds for them. This is what they are going to be building together. I'm literally feeling and also seeing in my third eye like this fortress of fear crumbling. I'm seeing like those old medieval castle turret, or tower type buildings, structures, and I'm literally seeing those boulders, those stones just crumble and collapse as an image of the ego-based fears that this masculine and feminine had been mirroring and suffering through each other. Finally, they've realized they are on the same page, and it is their destiny to build this 10 of Pentacles together. See, this is the before. To me, I don't know if you can see the woman in the background holding a baby, but the baby is the divine feminine thinking, wow, right now I'm, in the shelter of belief in the future, but I'm growing up to make this future a reality. This is what I've been dreaming of and visualizing ever since I was a kid, I was a teenager, whenever that desire hit home for you. But this divine feminine and this masculine right now are the babies that are now fully grown in order to manifest this dream of theirs, this fairy tale of theirs. I keep being told fairy tale. And I feel like that's significant because a fairy tale lifestyle seems to be what both of these counterparts are after. Like, this is their goal for life, for this connection. This is what they want. This is how they want things to play out. And now they're finally realizing, when they're going within and clearing their energy, that it will. That this is not some far-fetched fantasy that they have to avoid in order to protect their heart. This is something that both parties equally want and are equally working toward, even through the 3D distance. I feel a significant 5D deepening of intimacy here. The strengthening of their bond that could not have happened without this distance. Remember in the beginning of the video, I talked about how things are happening for us, and when we are wanting our counterpart to show up now, it's usually because of that ego-based fear of what might happen if they don't show up now. But then we look back, when we clear our energy, go within ourselves, that self-discovery shows us that all of these events had to take place in the sequence that they did in order to make room for our counterpart in our life, in order to build that bond in the 5D before bringing it into the 3D to make sure that it lasts, because both of these counterparts want this to last. This is not some temporary fantasy that they have that, is going to just disappear one day. You see all these cups here floating in the sky and this person drinking from it. They want all those cups with their divine partner. Right now it's up here, it's in the 5D, but this one cup that they do have in their hand is that reassurance, that ego death that took place, that told them that their desires don't have to remain fantasies. They are real. They are both on the same page. And it's literally right here. All they have to do is reach out to grab them. This is a card of determination. This is a card of surrendering to the divine, kneeling and asking for help where these burdens, these wands had become too much to carry, and you needed the angels and the guides to help bring you and your counterpart together. Look at this, guys, the lovers. This is how connected and deeply intimate this connection is in the 5D already. See how the masculine is reaching for the feminine, and the feminine is sitting here in her fears, and this masculine is saying, I've finally released mine, and I'm willing to face any fear that it takes in order to bring you home and make you mine. That was the past and some of the present situation, right? Insight into it. Now I'm going to go to the after tarot. Let's put these cards back here and have a look at what we can possibly expect out of this connection. Haven't pulled this out of the box yet. Your affirmation for this video, everybody that's resonating with it, everybody that feels this energy in their gut, say, comment down below, my fears no longer control me. My fears no longer control me. That is your affirmation. That is your mantra for today, for this week, for forever. Comment it below in the video. So Spirit, let's see, what can these divine counterparts expect in the future, in the near future, as an outcome? What can they expect? Let's have a look. For you guys, this is straight up. For me, this came out in the reverse position. This is the 10 of Wands, a releasing of those burdens. This is what you can expect. All of that past baggage that was holding you hostage, that was holding the masculine hostage, you can expect those to be released, you guys. The Death card cannot make this stuff up. You're not going to avoid those problems anymore. You're not going to deceive yourself by staying stuck, looking back at the past, at those old wounds that need to be acknowledged, felt, and then released. You're just going to walk away from that. You are going to heal yourself from that. You're going to give yourself permission, divine masculine, to feel that pain and then release it. You're not going to get stuck in it. You're not going to suppress it. You're not going to hold on to it. You're just going to feel and release it. This is your healing process. This is exactly what I see the masculine doing, and this is also what I see the feminine doing in a mirrored way. I feel like the feminine had been so afraid to feel those feelings because she didn't want to put anything negative out in the universe. So she was suppressing them. But the more she suppressed them, the more they were bubbling and fighting to come out. And I really, as I'm channeling this energy, I feel like this feminine finally just let it out. She let herself cry. She let herself speak about it to somebody that she trusted. All of these heavy things about her masculine, her fears that she had been holding within herself, she finally let it out. And that is what made way for this new beginning. And this Page of Pentacles, it's not only my little boy card, but it's also a card of great loyalty. I feel like these counterparts are extremely loyal to one another, and they are being told in the 5D through the divine, through tuning into their guides and their intuition, that they really have nothing to fear here. There is absolutely nothing to fear. Both counterparts are truly loyal to one another. To not question this love so much. It's real. It's innocent. It's fresh. And this is a love that both parties would fight for. They would hang off the edge of a cliff for. They would do anything for. Because this is true twin flame love, you guys. That is true twin flame love. I'm not going to take the whole stack, but I will take the moon because it revealed itself to me. All of these things were illuminated to relieve the anxiety of these counterparts. And we asked for what is the outcome? What can we expect in the future? Ace of Pentacles, a stable, long-term, lasting, I mean serious business type of relationship, new beginning. Notice the hand coming out of the sky, and it's got a beetle in its hand. Beetle means what? Good luck. At the beginning of the video, I said what? 3 plus 4 is 7. 7 is a number of what? Luck. Luck is on their side. Luck is on their side. Luck is on their side. That is your other mantra, you guys. Luck is on my side. Comment it down below. Luck is on my side. Oh, these cards are all kinds of wrong ways. Let's see. Quite a lot of them too. Okay. Let us try that again. Any final cards, Spirit? Any final messages? Good news is on the way. Good news is on the way. You can feel it in your gut. The beginning of a new adventure. Childlike, innocent energy, excitement, a new journey in life that you're going to be on for a very long time. And this is a very welcome new journey. What you're manifesting is on its way to you. See how this Page of Wands is walking? This is your manifestation. This is coming in. Everything that you've been putting out in the universe is ready to come from the 5D down into the 3D. And the divine is helping you with this. The hands of higher powers are protecting this connection. Another card of manifestations, you guys. Daydreams, fantasies. Everything that you thought maybe was too good to be true is actually true in this connection. There is nothing that cannot be achieved in this love. There's an empire to be built here in this love. Believe it. Stop doubting. It's real. The Wheel of Fortune energy, you guys, is extremely powerful. It talks about sudden positive changes, divine intervention, amazing things coming your way, karmic cycles being balanced out, clear, tables turning in your favor, always. Everything is always happening in our favor. Remember that, because it is true. I will channel a couple messages from the masculine to the feminine using the Blunt Truth Edition deck by Emily. You can purchase these on her Etsy store if you are interested. Can I get a message? I'm going to get help. I know I need to, right? This masculine knows he has inner childhood wounds. And he is acknowledging that he needs to get help with that. It's not something he can heal by himself. I do listen to what you say and try to find a solution within myself. Even if you're in a no contact situation, your masculine can hear you in the 5D. You both can feel each other. Don't doubt that. And when your masculine feels you and thinks about the impact that his energy might be having on you, he does try to make positive changes. I have seen the future with you. I want you by my side. It does not get any clearer than that. It just doesn't. I hope you guys enjoyed this reading. I truly hope it was helpful. I hope you all are doing well, but I hope that if you weren't, I hope this gives you the peace and light that you need. Thank you for joining me. Do check out the video description box below this video for my Instagram handle and my TikTok handle, where I post pretty much daily messages, little readings, reels, etc. Fun little activities for my collective. And Instagram is also the place where you can purchase a personal tarot reading service from me, energy healing sessions, my twin flame manifestation, affirmations. I offer a variety of services. So do stop by my Instagram page, check out the highlights. You can see client reviews, and you can also see the services that I offer there. And that would be the place to purchase. So I do hope to see you all there as well, but if not, I will definitely talk to you again in the next reading video. I hope you all have a beautiful night.